What's up, you guys? Jake State Farm here with Atomic Theory, bringing you yet another video of an hourly Atomic Arena. In today's video, we are going to try and take down this arena once and for all. We don't want to spoil anything, but let's just say we haven't been able to do it. We haven't been able to get the job done the last couple go arounds, so should be able to win this one unless somebody joins that. Some stronger player joins here. But yeah, we're going to stay focused here. It's a 3+0 arena, so just a little bit quicker than what we've been doing. But yeah, hopefully this goes well going up against, I'm not sure if I can say that or not. All right, so knight f3, so we can go f6, e5, or d6. We're going to go with d6 here. Against d6, a couple lines. Our opponent could go knight g5, followed by f6, and knight f7, forcing us to play queen d7, and then they would take on d6 and win our queen there. The whole idea with this opening is that, yes, you're losing your queen, but you're getting, knight c6, bishop g4, and queenside castles in later is basically the whole idea. Here our opponent is they're just pre-moving all their moves here, so we're gonna allow that. We're gonna allow. Okay, so bishop g6 was the best move, and after h takes, we're fine. But here our opponent's just giving us actually guaranteed checkmate on f2 here, no matter what he does. So you got 3 minutes on your clock. It's probably not the best strategy to go pre-move all your moves right at the beginning. But hey, maybe it'll work for him. Who knows? Awesome. Here we go. Get opponent here. I probably shouldn't berserk in 3-0, especially against a stronger player here. I want to give you guys time to. I want to explain what I'm doing and stuff, but oh well. All right, so this is one of the openings that I could say kind of invented. Not really, but I'm the one that's. No one else really plays this knight a3 stuff. It's not great, but if you're trying to throw your opponent off, it can work pretty well. And here I think we've been successful. After c takes, I can do these shenanigans. I gotta go queen b5. Queen c5 does look really nice, threatening queen e7 and queen c7. But then black would play queen a5 there, and it wouldn't work. So we're gonna go for this line instead. King f8 or king f7 needs to be played. Otherwise, black's going to lose some serious material here. The nice thing about this line, after this bishop's already come out and taken this knight, is there's a very similar line that goes this way that has the bishop here and has the knight here. And after king f7, queen c7, and that line, the most common move is bishop b4, trying to get bishop b4 and queen f8, trying to get something going there on that diagonal. Well, black doesn't have his bishop, and we're basically going to be able to take on d7 no matter what. Or he'll just do it for me, and now we're up a lot of material either way. So pretty solid line. Yeah, after e3, e6, knight a3 in the opening, you really don't want to trade off that bishop for that knight. That knight is not really that threatening. Coming to b5 is not as scary as it looks, but I understand where my opponent's coming from there. Alright, so now in the end game here, just not wanting to throw anything silly, just always want to make sure you're guarding everything. You don't want to allow, like a common idea here would be like, say if I hadn't played d4 here, black could have done like g5, g4, and there could have been like some rook h5 threats over here if I had castled, and then, this h-pawn can't push, so just don't want to hang anything like that. Just want to be careful. Let's trap in this rook over here. And then we'll just push this pawn down. It's going to be tough for my opponent to stop. Okay. Take with the F pawn, just get a tempo going here. And then we'll play rook d1. So now after queen d8 and rook captures, we've got rook d7 coming in. Okay, or that'll happen. In which case, let's prepare this rook to come in. Do this. And we definitely don't want to push here, but we'll do something like rook a7 here. Will be a nice little discovered check here. So he'll probably start with f3 here. Okay, so now we can play it. And yeah, we've got check as we get this queen here, so work out. Can't take here. So far, so good. So far, so good. Open with knight c3. You don't see this every day. Okay. Not sure what the best move is here, but I think knight d5 is okay. I think queen f3's got to respond with queen f6, and I think we'll have knight h3 there. Okay. Yeah, guys, so yeah, super important there. This queen f3 move is threatening queen f5 and queen d5. It's kind of a double attack there. The only way to stop it is to play queen f6, and well, I can show you while we're waiting. Yeah, so the only way to stop mate here is queen f6, which pins my queen to this f2 pawn. So it does stop queen d5 here. But yeah, like I said, we'll have knight h3, and then we'll eventually get knight g5 and knight h7 in. So would have been a pleasant position for us either way, but awesome. Here we go. Here's a great match for us. We got the Henry g1. Definitely not going to berserk against this guy. All right, so we've got b5, knight a6, c6, lots of moves here. I think I'm going to go for b5. This is the most challenging line if you're going for a win as black. Okay, I think he just hung this. Yeah, rook takes h2 is, I believe, is the move. Maybe this is a line. I'm not quite familiar with this. I'm not gonna sit here and say it's not a line. I just definitely not familiar with it. Got to calculate this out here. So main thing we want to think about here is queen h5. We definitely can't play knight e3 immediately. We could go for g6. That would allow this move, which I think is okay. I could start with e6. I think I'm going to start with e6, then after knight f5, I can play bishop b4. Man, it's laggy already. Hope it doesn't continue like this. Need to play at the best of our ability here if we're trying to beat this guy. Yeah, so now after knight f5, we'll play bishop b4 with a check, and then we can play g6, and this f8 square is opened up here. Okay, but none of that matters. That's a good move by my opponent. This is trickier than I thought. I think we have to sack our queen here. Nothing else survives. I want to play bishop b4 and c6, but then my opponent will just play queen h5, queen h6. So, only way to survive this is to sack our queen. Not sure where we went wrong there. Maybe e6 was the mistake. I really don't know. This we're not too afraid of, I don't think, because now our knight can come to b4. Yeah, I'm not too scared of this. In fact, I may just play it immediately. I'm still threatening bishop takes b7 here. It's like after a3. Okay. Just trying to calculate here. Yeah, I think this is actually going to work for us. Yeah, so after queen b5, c6, if he goes for queen a5, I've got bishop b4 here, and I'll win the queen. It's tricky, it's close, but we're still threatening his queen, so he's got to move it. He doesn't, so we'll happily chop that off, get rid of any, queen retreating ideas that he may have had. Just go ahead and get it off the board. Still not easy by any means, but his king can't castle, so... Alright, so he wants to play b5, b6. I think I want to play e takes. I want my bishop on d6 rather than h6. The reason being is after b5, b6, I can go c takes, and my bishop would have defended. Here he just castles queenside anyway, so it doesn't really matter. I'm going to get my rook out and try to get some play on this open file here. I really think he still should have gone for b5, b6, if I'm being honest. If so, his rook is active, and it's hard for my rook to get out, but I get it. If you do that and you play rook b1, you're basically resigning to the fact that you're not going to castle all game with my knight here on f1. So I understand him wanting to get his king safe. I just think I'm going to be able to break through here between my a pawn, my c pawn, and my bishop. He probably should have gone for... Well, I take it back. Yeah, he can't. He wants to go e4, e5, but I've got knight e3 there. So, yeah, this is not easy for my opponent. Probably is going to play rook c1. Not. Okay, I think I go c6 here. Yeah, I thought maybe rook c1. I would still probably play c6, but maybe that was okay. Now, just the quickest way to do this. Okay. See if he goes for anything funny here. We could, yeah, we'll go ahead and just try to see. Yeah, let's just go ahead and take here, keep it simple. There may have been a mate there, and it's always best practice to play the mate when you have it, but can't waste all our time calculating. So play d5, just cutting off the king. It's easier if he can't get his king over here, but if he does get his king over there, it's not the end of the world. Alright, and then can't checkmate with just one queen with no pawns on the board, but can do it with two queens. This is some atomic endgame theory right here. Yeah, so with one queen, there's no way to separate the kings. If there's pawns on the board, yeah, then you'll be able to explode the king on a pawn, but with just two queens, yeah. Alright, and then my opponent is apparently upset. I thought it was a great game. I thought he played well. I thought it was a pretty fun, competitive game. Curious about the opening. Okay, yeah. So I almost always see rook h2 here. I also don't always play b5, so I'm not as familiar with this line, but yeah, so mistake by us. Yeah. Okay, so I also had knight a6 there. Would have been an option, but yeah, bishop b4 I think just loses. Yeah, you wouldn't think so, but Let's try d6 again. Let's see if we can get the line that I was hoping for last time. All right, here we go. Love this opening. This is one of my favorite openings. Just sack your... Okay. He blunders mate immediately, but yeah, the point of this opening, let's say he had played f3 instead, is then we'd castle queenside. We've got pressure here, just super, super fun line. It's actually my most played move against knight f3, even though it's objectively the worst of the three options. I love that line. Super fun. Alright, opening with knight h3 here. We're going to play just a positional game here. We're going to go g3, f4. We can pretty much pre-move our moves. There's not much... Okay, well, that's one thing black can do. I was just about to say there's not much black can do to stop our threats here, but... okay, so... I guess bishop e3, I think he's going d4, so maybe bishop f4 would have been better. This is weird. After takes, I'm looking at bishop here or queen here. But he doesn't take, which is honestly a really good move. I completely missed that. Super weird position. Well played by my opponent just to get me out of prep. So I kind of want to play... Super strange. And I need to make a move here. Alright, let's play bishop. I really want to make queen h5 work, but I don't think it does. Let's just play queen b3 and we'll get my king behind this pawn here. He's got f takes, and then I could maybe play knight f4 even though it's slow. Not as sure about that move. Because now I'm threatening knight c6 and queen b4 ideas. Or queen b5. Yeah, queen b5 is a pretty strong threat. I don't know. Knight c6 is not as good as I would like, though. Okay. I guess we just play this. It's really not fun, honestly. And being so low on time, too. We might play c4 here. Yeah, bishop a6. Okay, this isn't good. This is really bad. Yeah, we gotta find some unique checkmate here. At least we're stopping him from castling. That's about all we got going for us right now. After this, I think I'll... No, I can't even do that. I may have to play knight takes. I'd hate to play that. I really don't want to play that. But this is so slow, having our knight 3 squares away from the king like that. I'd much rather be able to play knight d5 here. Okay, he does allow knight d5. He probably needs to take here, otherwise we've got knight c7 coming in. Okay, that capture also works. Oh boy. Good. There you go, nice. Okay, yeah, I gotta sack our rook now. Oh yeah, rook takes. It's such a beautiful move. Yeah, well played to my opponent. Super well played. Super gross. Man, just can't get on a roll here in these arenas. Not sure what went wrong on this one. He played a really interesting line. Okay, so... Yeah. A lot of times after c5, this diagonal gets weak, so I probably should have taken advantage of that. Man, 96. Oh, 96, and I would have had queen c5 at the end of it. Yeah, I see. Okay. Interesting. Well played to my opponent. I mean, That's what I preach as the player with the black pieces. How can I complicate the position? How can I throw white off of his game? As you can see there, it was plus 10, but it was a position I was unfamiliar with, and with a minute and a half on your clock, it's not always clockwork trying to make it work. No pun intended there. So yeah, interesting. Yeah, that's a real key thing to note there. Is after the pawn push c5, it's really nice for being aggressive in the center, but you always got to think about this diagonal here. So I probably could have taken advantage of that. Boldy neutral. He's back, boys. He's back. Going for top three. All right. Could have just played queen a4, but it said he'll have to take my knight, and then I can either do queen a4 or queen f5 works as well. After he blocks this, I'll have queen d3. All right. GP Lewis, or GP Louis. I don't know how to say that. From Mexico. Oh no, Boldy neutral is already on the streak here. Curious. This guy seems to be very active in these arenas. All right. Playing against the Henry G again. Go for knight d4 this time. I'll play knight f5. You'll probably see g6 or d5. Maybe e6. Not not as good, but it's not a bad move. So after e6, I'm trying to think if I have knight c3. I know e6 isn't the best move here, but not too familiar with this line. Yeah, I'm trying to think. I don't know. After e6, because I'm thinking knight c3. If b5, I could just play knight d5, and then takes, I'd have queen h5, queen d5. And if c6, then I could play knight c3, c takes, queen h5, queen b5, queen b6 stuff. But I don't know. All right, we're going to play queen f3 here. After f3, he could play c6, and we could play f takes, and we'd probably have a better position there. But I want to be active. Probably really should have done that. I don't like my position already. I've got to play knight d5 and bishop b5, just to save my queen, because otherwise, if I move my queen, he's coming in with bishop b2. But either way, really this is really bad for me. Yeah, he's gonna play queen a5. I should have probably played something else there. At least we'll get c3 in to stop this knight from coming in further. But oof. I guess after queen b4, I could play the move b3. Yeah, this is not a fun day to be me right now. Oof. This rook is probably never get into the game. I'll have to do rook, h4, rook h3 or something. Goofy looking rook lift. E5 is a potential move as well. E5 could be really strong here because he can't push because of my queen. And if f takes, I would have had bishop g5, but of course d5 is a great move. Yeah, this is terrible. Let's go d takes. We'll still threaten e5 here. I mean, the good news is he can't castle. Uh, that's about it. That's about it. Maybe bishop b3. At least I've got some ideas here. But emphasis on the some. Yeah, like if bishop b7, I could play h4. And if he plays g4, then maybe there's like bishop h6 there to stop him from castling. Um, and if he castles, then I could just play h takes, which isn't winning by any means, but it's at least a threat. Okay, that's probably a good move. He's sacrificing a pawn here, but honestly, probably a really good move. Let's play e5. He's probably going to go f takes, and then I could play bishop d4 and maybe get this nice diagonal. I don't know. This is tricky. If f takes, I'm just trying to think if there's anything else. I mean, queen d6 is always an option here, but it just doesn't quite work in any of these lines, I don't think. Does it? Queen d6. Yeah, it's just so hard for me to get my rooks into the game here. Let's go ahead and do bishop d4. After castles, we can block off this rook here, but there's these ideas. Definitely knight d5 too. That's a really good move. Maybe bishop d3. Looks pretty good to me. If we can get him to trade off this bishop here, which I think he has to. So, that's a win for us. Okay. Does this work for him? Got a lot of options here. Let's start with queen b3. Yeah. Now, gotta play bishop d3. Oh, this is tricky. I want to play queen c5 is what I had in mind, and then rook e8, bishop e7, but then there's bishop d2, so I can't do that. Very tricky. Alright, I guess we're playing f4 then. Might go g takes. Okay, we're happy with that. Yeah, now we're a lot happier than we were. Wait up to. Oof. Yeah, we got bailed out by the clock there. Wow, he had me. Well played to my opponent. He definitely had me there. Yeah, super tricky. Man, I think he had to have made a mistake in the opening there, I think. Yeah, knight c3 was the move. Okay, so yeah. Wow, big mistake, queen f3. Yeah, just completely. I thought it was a bad position after that. Alright, here we go. Redemption time. GP Louis. d5 is an option here. I'm just going to keep it simple with e6. Don't want to get out trapped. I know d5 is the best move there, but it's also very sharp. And playing against a lower rated opponent here, I'd prefer not to keep it too sharp. Don't want to get beat out of the opening here. Let's go with g6. Stop any of these ideas. Figured he'd do that. I think I'm happy with h5. He'll probably go bishop h6. Maybe he'll make us play it. Bishop g5 we don't mind too much because, yeah, he kind of wants this open, so he has queen c1 ideas. We want to be careful about d5. It looks super natural. It looks really natural, what I'm about to say, but something like b3 in castles, I think I'm close to just losing. Well, castles I can't because of queen takes, but he'll have like queen c1, queen b3 ideas, and if I try to play c5, then he can just take. So let's play b5 instead. We're cutting off the bishop. Yeah, and I was gonna say we're threatening b4 if he ever were to play queen a3. So instead he plays b4, And we're pretty happy with that because now his queen's never going to have anything over here. So now we want to play d5. The problem is if we don't play d5, he can play d5. So, in fact, d5 here may have been good for him. Maybe overextending a little bit. All right, now let's go c5. He'll probably take. And let's go bishop d7. I want to play knight c6 here. And I was thinking after takes, I want my bishop to cut this off. So the threat here is obviously e takes. Really not so simple to defend. I can't push. I can't allow it either, because after queen f6, there's bishop g6. I can play rook f8. I can't castle. Not a lot I can do. I guess I'm... that's... Rook f8's pretty bad. He's going to play queen e3, and then I have to go back. I guess after queen e3 I actually have f takes, so never mind. This is definitely not a fun position, but it's not lost at all. We're up a pawn. We just need to get through this tricky middle game, and then we'll be fine. Okay. We're a lot more comfortable now. Honestly, castling would have been tough anyway. He had this threat on h5 the whole time, so if I ever tried to castle, he could just sack his queen on h5, so rook f8's not too bad. The main thing I don't like about this move is that his queen could potentially sneak into h6 now. Alright, let's go queen c8. This should be good for me. I'm threatening queen a6. If he plays a6, which he probably needs to, then maybe I'm pushing here. I don't know. Okay. I'm going to go here. Still not so simple, though, because I don't really want to allow that. I think I'm still going to do this. Oh, he can do this. Might be kind of slow getting out here, actually. That's also new. I'm going to go here. Just open up my rook prematurely. And then let's go here. This is tricky. Got queen b5 to kind of force some stuff. I am threatening this if he tries to get on the open file. Yeah. I do really like... I'm going to play a5 to stop rook a6 ideas. That's good. I probably should have played king d7 instead. See if he punishes me with d7 or not. Really gotta be quick. Oof. This is scary. He's gotta play knight c5, yeah, surely. I hope he doesn't play f4. Maybe there's something better here. I don't know. This is super tricky. It's so tough to know. Oh no. He might check me one way or the other here. Yeah, I would have had rook c2 if I had time, but I don't. Oh no. Yeah, he completely fumbled the bag there. He had me. My position was fine, I think, but he had me on the clock. He had... What was the time difference there? It was not that close. Man. He just fumbled under the pressure. Yeah, it was like a minute to 5 seconds. Legitimately,